Welcome to the third 9 weeks mini course selections. Remember, you're going to select your top 5 choices, with number 1 being your first choice. Any mini course that has an asterisk next to it must be your first choice, and you may only select one course with an asterisk. Read and listen to the descriptions carefully. You could be placed in any of your choices. Don't talk to others as you select. Beatlemania. 50 years ago, 55,000 screaming fans witnessed history as the Beatles took stage at Shea Stadium. 4 young men from Liverpool changed the world by leading the British invasion. They changed pop music forever. Still today, the Beatles are still the most popular and iconic band in pop music history. The Fab Four, George, Ringo, Paul, and John, triggered a musical revolution like no other. Examine the impact of the Beatles on pop culture, like the introduction of the mop top. Explore the world of the Beatles through their films like The Yellow Submarine and A Hard Day's Night, iconic TV performances, newspapers, photos, and documentaries. Determine the influence of the Beatles' music on the artists of today. Create art inspired by the music of the Beatles. Research the meaning behind some of their most iconic songs. Tour the world of the Beatles and enjoy the sensation of the original boy band. Bullseye. What did Robin Hood say when he was nearly hit during an archery contest? That was an arrow escape. Robin Hood, Katniss from The Hunger Games, and Merida from Brave all quivered with excitement when it came to archery, a fascinating medieval and modern sport. In this mini-course, we will explore the history of archery and the proper way to safely and accurately shoot a compound bow. In addition, we will learn about the history of archery and the challenges of the sport. We will shoot at targets from multiple distances and score our way through a tournament for our final exam. Bully-proof. Bullies have been around forever and make our lives miserable. But why do they do it, and how can we deflect their negative vibes? No matter what your size or age, you can learn the skills to protect yourself. As a class, we will study the art of self-defense and explore how it has developed over time. CCISD defines self-defense as activities that do not escalate the situation and the minimum amount of force is necessary to remove himself or herself from danger. We will investigate the psychology behind conflict and learn how to diffuse difficult situations. Through physical and verbal drills as well as role-playing, you will develop the ability to make good decisions under pressure. Let's work together to build our confidence through physical development and mental strength to think like an elite warrior. Note: students who are enrolled in this class will be given a parent permission letter and must return it signed before the semester ends. Explaining why you're right, an introduction to forensics and debate. What do Susan B. Anthony, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., and Ronald Reagan have in common? They are some of the history's best public speakers and were masters in the art of debate. Their speeches are legendary. You are invited to learn public speaking by studying history's most famous speeches, as well as learn the art of civilized debate, aka forensics, from these historical figures and many, many more. Learn the skills needed to become a confident speaker as well as a seasoned debater who uses statistics and reason rather than volume to get their point across. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Family game night. What did the contents of burial sites in Egypt from around 3100 BC, artifacts from Mesopotamia 4600 years ago, the topics of some Thomas Jefferson's writings, and a closet in your family's house have in common? Board games. This mini-course will look at the history of board games from ancient times to present day. In this mini-course, you will research games from around the world, their origins and creators. Learn the essentials of rule design, game creation, strategy, chance, and luck. Other topics covered will include inventors of board games, the historical purposes, what games look like today, and of course, the Game Hall of Fame. Become an entrepreneur as you create your own board game. So take a clue, jump on the game of life, take a risk, or you'll be sorry. Foodology. Do you know where your food comes from before it reaches the shelves of the grocery store? There is a science and history behind every fruit, veggie, spice, and seasoning we love. In this mini-course, we'll explore the origins of local and exotic cuisines, examine the process behind getting the food from the farm to your plate, and discuss the impact our food choices have on the environment. We will be hands-on in planting, growing, preparing, and of course, eating what we learn about. A $10 course fee is applied to cover the cost of consumables. Heroes on the home front. Atomic bombs, military tanks, food shortages, concentration camps, dangerous espionage, World War II was no place for women and children. The strongest and bravest men answered the call and headed off to face Hitler's Nazis, but they were not the only ones fighting for the cause. Women traded in their aprons and silk stockings for bandanas and coveralls. Boys and girls replaced their bikes and toys with gardening tools and knitting needles. Teachers became smugglers. Children built bombs. War changed the lives for everyone involved, and in this mini-course, we will experience life through the lens of the brave soldiers who fought courageously for their causes, away from the battlefield in both hemispheres. They were the real heroes on the home front who helped win the war. Making a list, checking it twice. Santa has the right idea by listing names and toys because his lists have real power. List making and organizing is an art, and as the organizational guru Marie Kondo explains, it can also bring you joy, and in her case, money too. You can be a better student, a stronger athlete, a more accurate musician. You can even sleep better knowing you're prepared and keeping up with all of your commitments. If that sounds like the life you want, then get ready to feel the pleasure of purging your brain and life of clutter. Minute to Win It. 60 seconds. That's all it takes to make it or break it. Welcome to the Minute to Win It. This mini course will be full of mental and physical challenges designed to build your problem solving and strategy skills. The excitement will build as personal and team challenges keep you on your toes. You will watch and evaluate other teams to see how they win and what makes them stumble. However, in the end, you will need one another. As a team, your goal will be to analyze each challenge and then design a challenge of your own to share with others. So are you in? Let's play Minute to Win It. $10 mini course fee to cover the cost of disposable supplies. Music for the love of it. Performing music in small groups of friends has been a tradition among instrumentalists for over 200 years. Join up with your friends and have a musical conversation, also known as performing chamber music. It is called chamber music because classical musicians got together, performed in a normal room for fun instead of in a formal palace in front of kings and queens. Students will form groups to prepare literature together, working with different group dynamics and earning each other's trust and respect through verbal and nonverbal communication. You will experience chamber music stylistic performances from different eras and composers. Match your style to others or devise your own ideas. Guest artists will visit to show us how years of playing professionally with your close friends looks and sounds, and you will discover the inner workings of putting together your own chamber music class performance. This course is only open to string players. Passionate Poets Unite. Write, recite, or simply delight in poetry's many forms. Respond to your own world through poetry's various art forms. Explore great poetry and poets. You will also learn to appreciate poetry as oral art. Passionate Poets Unite. Poetry is thoughts that breathe and words that burn. Thomas Gray. Pieces and creases. Origami, the Japanese art of paper folding, provides us with a wonderful way to be entertained and creative. However, there is so much more to this art form than meets the eye. Students in this class will be exposed to complex topics such as 3D art design, geometry, the divine proportion, Japanese culture, World War II, poetry, and literature. Join the fun as we create amazing works of art, but beware, strong fine motor skills, patience, and the ability to follow directions will be required. Real America. When President Woodrow Wilson viewed Birth of a Nation in the White House in 1915, he said of the film, "It is like writing history with lightning." In this course, we will analyze the 20th century via the silver screen. The triumphs and tragedies the American people experienced during this extraordinary time, such as the Great Depression, World War II, the Cold War, and others, will be examined by viewing some of cinema's greatest masterpieces. We will view scenes from such classics as It's a Wonderful Life, The Best Years of Our Lives, To Kill a Mockingbird, Dr. Strangelove, and others to better understand this truly American century. Grab your popcorn and your history book. This course gets 2 thumbs up. Slump it, fuse it. Worn glass is cool. Be a part of today's fastest growing trend in art glass. Learn the fundamental techniques required for fused glass art. Glass compatibility, firing schedules, cold work, and other important topics will be covered. Students will create at least 3 glass projects and experience several different types of firing. Students will be taught the operation of kilns and the use of other basic tools necessary for the production and finishing of glass art. This class will give you a foundation in the technical aspects of fusing glass. Due to the small size of this class, no repeats. Project supply fee of $25. Steeling. Learn the history of the steel pan and its newer oil drum counterpart. It will be 55 gallons of fun. How are they made? How are they tuned? How are they played? Be a part of the steel drum ensemble. Sorry, members of this ensemble must be pre-approved. There will be a $25 fee to help pay for tuning the drums. Taking flight. From Da Vinci's flying machine to the modern airplanes of today, people have been drawn to air travel for hundreds of years. This mini course will take off with a look at the history of flight, glide into the science of aerodynamics, and land with a look into the future of air travel. Fasten your seatbelts, put your tray tables in an upright and locked position, and get ready for takeoff with this high-flying mini course. That's not fair. We hear it all the time, and we've said it ourselves, but what's really fair? What rights are you entitled to as a human being? Every person is entitled to certain rights simply because they are a human being. Let's explore the history and creation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Youth for Human Rights movement, and some famous activists, even teens. Then, empowered with our knowledge, we will identify ways to get involved and become activists. So instead of sitting around saying, "That's not fair," join us and do something. TPSP Survival Kit today only. Sign up for your very own TPSP Survival Kit. The kit includes 12 spectacular periods to concentrate exclusively on the TPSP, unlimited library time, and extensive computer access. But wait, there's more. Order today and we will include an expert TPSP guide to answer all your questions and steer you through the TPSP maze. TPSP is conquerable, but don't just take our word for it. Previous owners have proclaimed, TPSP wasn't so bad, I actually learned something. Quantities limited, restricted to 8th grade students willing to focus on passion areas, climb outside the box, and think for themselves. This class is for 8th graders only. Where is my teacher? In this mini course, you will have a virtual relationship with your teacher and learning will be long distance, but there's a catch. Each week, you will have no idea where she's located. You and your classmates will answer clues to figure out her location, and winning teams will need to use their wits and knowledge of American history to help unlock the mystery. Once we figure out where she is, the class will experience hands-on activities about the location and based on themes. If you are fond of traveling and a history buff who also loves solving puzzles and riddles, then you won't want to miss this new and exciting mini course. Welcome to Hogwarts. Are you one of those people who knows what it means to suffer from Harry Potter withdrawal waiting for the next installment in this magical series by J.K. Rowling? Can't figure out what to do now that the series has ended? Would you rather attend potions, herbology, and defense against the dark arts than science, history, or math? If you are one of these true HP fans, then this is the mini course for you. Join us as we spend the next 9 weeks delving deeper in Rowling's fictional world in both text and film. Since this course explores various aspects of Rowling's work, it is required that participants have read all books 1 through 7 in the series. And remember, it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. No repeaters. Choose wisely. Select your top 5 choices on the mini course selection sheet. Choose wisely and remember you can be placed in any of your 5 choices. Write legibly and neatly. No name or advisory teacher on the sheet means Mrs. Holliday chooses for you. Turn the selection sheet into your advisory teacher.